right? There's nothing left. So when you have a budget and all your money is budgeted to go to where it needs to go, you're not spending money unnecessarily. Because as we'll find out, when we play around with the budget, you can actually put money away. Maybe you want to take the family out to eat once a week. So you can put that in your budget. You can budget that money. Say this money is for, you know, I don't know, Dan Bateman's or whatever, Bateman's restaurant. We're taking them to McDonald's or whatever you want to do, right? You can put that into your budget, but that's where it becomes, because it's personal. That's your goal. One of your goals, short-term goals, is you want to be able to take your family to dinner once a week. And that's okay, as long as you have the money to do it. And all your other bills, and your necessary bills are paid. And achieves your personal goals, right? So, a plan for the coordination of resources and expenditures. That's what Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary says. A budget is a plan for the coordination of resources and expenditures. What's that saying in English? It's saying that basically...
Spending your money on your bills, I mean resources would be like your utilities and stuff.
Right, coordination of resources. Your resources is what you have coming in.
And your expenditures is what you put out, right?
Exactly. So it's a plan to help, because that's like I said earlier, right? The basics of a personal finance is you've got money coming in and you've got money going out. It's managing that flow of money where a budget can really help you, and it can help you to get ahead. Simply put, a budget is a plan for managing your money in a way that best meets your personal needs and your wants, right? You can have wants, or you can manage your wants, but when your wants outweigh your needs, then that's when you get into trouble, right? We talked about last week, the difference between wants and needs, right? Well, you can have wants in there, like you want to take your family out to dinner once a week. That's fine, as long as your other needs are taken care of, right? You cover your needs.
Do we want to go out to eat, or do we fill the fridge? Which
there
one,
you go.
You know, which one goes first?
Right, and that's one of the things you have to decide, right? Some people like to go out to eat, but it's cheaper most of the time to get food, prepare it, cook it, and eat that instead of going out. But if you want to go out once a week and you can, and your money and your budget says you can do that, that's fine too. It's a want, but your needs are met first. So, 7 keys to effective budgeting. Identify and develop personal goals, right? Like I said, you should have short-term and long-term goals. Your short-term goals could be, you know, I want to go out to dinner once a week, or, you know, those kind of things. I want that dress in Kohl's, you know, or something along that lines. Again, as long as your want or your needs are taken care of. And then your long-term goal could be, I want to be out of debt in 5 years, right? I want to have a car in 3 years, right? These are all things that you can have for goals. And once you set your goals, your budget can be your plan to get there, right? It's like a roadmap, right? How do you get from here to Raven Stadium, right? Punch it into your GPS, and the GPS tells you where to turn and where to go, right? It's the same kind of thing. Your budget tells you how to get there. It's a map. So evaluate and record current trends, both income and expenditures. One of the things, in my line of work, we like to call it a living document, right? It's not something that you set once and it's done, it's set in stone. It's going to change. One, it's going to change as your financial situation changes. It's going to change as you start to realize some things that it's going to bring to light areas where you're spending more money than you should, right? So then you can make adjustments not to spend as much money there, and you can take that money that you were spending over here and allocate it over here where it's needed, right? So you can make adjustments as you go. So your budget is a really great way to evaluate those, and you could also, you know, you'll see that you're spending a lot of money because you're recording it, and that's the thing with the budget. You have to be disciplined to do it. At the end of the day, save your receipts. The best way is to save your receipts when you go to the food market, go whatever. Save your receipts. At the end of the day, just sit down and plug them into your budget, about what you spent. Then you can see, well, you know, I'm spending way too much money on cigarettes. Maybe I should quit. You should quit anyway. That's another story. But you know, that kind of thing, right? Or you're spending too much money eating out, or you're spending too much money on clothes, right? These things, and you can start to see these things as your budget develops, and you work with your budget. So you can see those things and it brings it to light and you can make the changes that you need to make so you have better financial position. You assign priorities. And again, I strongly suggest that your needs become the priority over your wants. And defining the needs and wants is where the trick comes in. So develop a timeline for the month. Right? When you're going to pay what? Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Right? Don't break it down to the point where you're driving yourself crazy. In my business, it's called analysis paralysis, where you can have you look at data. I look at data all the time, but you look at data to the point where you're looking at all these charts and graphs, and it just starts to convolute and get all kinds of twisted, and it drives you crazy. So you keep it simple. That's why we have a set of 2 or 3 metrics that define our goals and objectives of the organization. You should as well have 2 or 3 goals that you want to achieve. And it's, again, I go back to what I talked about last week, the 20-80 rule, 80-20 rule, right? 20% of the income, what Alfredo Pareto discovered, it's called the Pareto analysis, in the early 1900s, that 20% of the income in this country was coming, 80% of the income was coming from 20% of the population. So a small percent of the population had the majority of the money, right? So that's the 20-80 rule. So what that basically comes down to is you don't try to achieve all your goals at one time because you'll drive yourself crazy, right? You'll start to lose focus, you'll spread yourself thin. So you pick 1 or 2 that are like Wanda was talking about last week, where if you have debt, you have credit cards or whatever, pay the smallest one off first. Like you pay a little bit on each one, you pay off the smallest one, and then whatever money you were paying to that, pay to the next one, next smallest. And then before you know it, you knock them out, right? But it's setting that goal to just pay them, knock them out, will help you to get your end goal of getting out of debt, so to speak, right? So it's just keep it simple. Don't try to drive yourself crazy by doing everything at one time. Like the old saying goes, you can't swallow an elephant in one bite. You have to take it in small bites, small chunks. Remain flexible. One size does not fit all. So we're going to work with the budget in a little bit, a personal budget, but remember that what we work with today may or may not fit what you have. You have to figure that out on your own. And once we give you the guidelines, you should be able to do that without any problem. And again, I encourage you, if you feel like you need help, and a lot of people do feel like they need help, so don't feel bad about that, because it can be very stressful and confusing sometimes. See Connie. Connie still works with the ladies, doesn't she? Make an appointment with Connie. She's a great lady. She knows what she's doing, and she can sit down and get into the weeds with you. What I mean by that is she can get down into the, why you're spending money here and there and so forth, and she can really help you. She was really great with helping Angie. I know that for a fact. So just if you feel like you need that help, definitely talk to her. She would be more than happy to help you, I'm sure. And then review and revise. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier about it being a living document, right? It's going to change. It's not going to be the same when you first set it. It's going to change. It's going to change within days sometimes, right? And be flexible enough to see where you need to make those revisions. And when you achieve a goal, it's going to shift everything around, because that money that you were spending in one area that you're no longer spending in that area can go somewhere else and pay off another bill, or go into savings, if you know what I mean. So it's a good thing. Budgeting is effective money management. Effective money management is planning how to get the most from your money. Again, it's going back to that statement. Don't work for your money, make your money work for you. Good money managers keep track of where their money goes so that they can make it go farther. Right? So when you understand and see where your money's going, right? And again, it comes back to that spending creep, right? So if you've spent $50 and you have $2,200 and you've already spent $50, you know that now, as opposed to not knowing if you weren't keeping track of it, and you'd be far less likely to spend more money because you get to the end of your money, whatever you had allocated. excuse me, so, it's, your money will go further. So effective money management includes developing personal financial goals, organizing personal financial goal records, and creating a monthly budget. And evaluating personal financial health, right? The better you are financially, the healthier your financial health is, right? The more money you have. When you are in debt and you are spending more than you're bringing in, you're not financially healthy at all, right? So you want to make sure that you are not spending as much as more than you have coming in. So creating a budget begins with a clear, accurate, and well thought out plan. This will allow you to be able to adjust plans, activities, and spending as needed, spend money cost effectively, reach the specific goals you have set, and it strengthens internal control systems. So what is a budget? Income? Simply any money earned or contributed to your household from either personal finances or a business. So your personal income could be, what are some personal incomes?
Job.
Very good, yep. I know you got something. Give me something, give me something.
I don't know, I get money from babysitting.
There you go. That's income. It's revenue.
Security.
Social Security, very good. Alimony, disability, welfare, right? All these are resources that come into the money for you to spend, right? That's your income. So just because where the money comes, doesn't matter where the money comes from, but it's money given to you for you to manage, right? That's income. Expenses, what are some expenses?
Diapers.
Rent.
Yep, very good.
Here, you don't buy diapers. But you do.
She's living vicariously off of your life. Yes, rent, food, clothing, your cell phone, all these are expenses, things that you spend money on. Money that you spend, this includes anything you purchase. This includes both planned and unexpected expenses. What's an unexpected expense?
Car breaking down.
$90 car battery.
There you go, car breaking down, the baby gets sick, you gotta take it to the doctors, you gotta pay, right? So you gotta pay for the doctor, maybe you got a copay or whatever.
Yeah, the other day
You gotta get prescriptions, right? All those things can be unexpected expenses. But if you have your budget planned properly, you can have some money tucked away for those unexpected expenses, right? And as you go through time and you develop, you can actually trend the unexpected expenses. So maybe you figure out it was last year, my unexpected expenses ended up being, $50 a month. So make sure you put $50 a month away for those unexpected expenses, right? So it's planning. It's a great planning tool. All right, what are the steps in budgeting? 1, set your financial goals. I want to be out of debt in 5 years. I want to have a car in 3 years, whatever it is, right? Estimate your income. What do you have coming in? Record what you spend. Right? And again, one of the things that I used to do when I had my own business, I had, okay, I had an accordion folder, a little accordion folder, and every day I put whatever receipts I spent, I'd put them in the accordion folder per day, and then at the end of the week or whatever, I'd pull them out and I'd plug them into my financial, computer, my program. So, but when you spend, just grab a receipt, put it in your pocket, and at the end of the day, just update your budget. And once you do it, you could spend 2 or 3 minutes at the end of the day, as opposed to trying at the end of the month, spending 2.5 hours pulling your hair out trying to figure out what's going on. It's a lot easier if you break it up in daily or weekly even. Budget for actual and unexpected expenses. Like I said earlier, put a little bit away, and as you work with your budget over time, you can actually see over time how much you're spending on unexpected expenses. And unexpected expenses are exactly that. They're unexpected. You can't predict it. But you can certainly put money away that if you spend it, fine. You have it there, thank God. But if you don't spend it, that's extra money you have. Review and evaluate monthly. At the end of the month, look where you are. You should be, hopefully you're in the black. In accounting terms, if you're in the red, that means you spending more money than you took in. If you're in the black, that means you're not spending more money than you take in. So that's a good thing. You want to be in the black. Set financial goals. Identify and write them down. Long term, within 1 to 5 years. Short term, within a year. Make it achievable, practical, and owned by everyone. Keep them in the forefront. Journal the process. Celebrate your completion. That's critical. When you do something, like Linda came up, ran up to me today, she was all thrilled. Right? She was celebrating her accomplishment, right? She did something that was good for her financial health. And celebrate it, enjoy it, right? It's a good thing. And that keeps you motivated to get to the next goal, next step. Write them into your monthly budget. Adjust them as necessary. So, like I said, when you set a goal to pay off your one credit card, when you pay it off, you got to adjust your budget. You could take that out and now move that money somewhere else. So, estimating your income. Make a list of each income stream that you receive on a regular basis each month. The key is to only indicate that income you get every month. Include both monthly wages earned from your job as well as monthly supplemental income such as child support, disability, etc. Calculate the monthly income total. Record but do not include any periodic income you may receive at this point. If your income is unpredictable, estimate what you will receive in the next month and adjust it down a little. It's better to adjust it down and end up bringing in more than writing in that you're going to get higher and you don't get there. It's going to cause you to get in trouble. Record what you spend. Review the previous month's check, book ledger, bank statements, etc., and record your spending and income. Record what you spend for the next month, write it down, and write down what your actual expenses and income. Budget for actual and unexpected expenses. Actual expenses identify fixed expenses such as rent, car payment, student loan, and so forth. When you have a car payment, you know what that's going to be every month, right? You know what you're going to pay to the bank. Record the monthly payment deadline and plan accordingly to your payday date. Variable expenses. Identify like electric. Electric is a variable expense. So you're really not sure. I mean, you can really guess. Right? So if you spend an average, last year I spent an average, and they have it on your electric bill as well. They give you what you've been spending over the last year. Look at what you're spending, average it out, and figure out what it costs per month, what you're spending per month, and use that as your guideline. If you spend under, if it's under that, then great. You got a couple dollars to use elsewhere. Maybe pay off another bill, put it towards another bill or something. If it's under, then you have to make adjustments. That's where the budget becomes, like I said, it's a living document. You're going to be adjusting as you go. Actual expenses. Rent or mortgage. Car payment, upkeep, gas, etc. Insurance, right? Health, medical, life, auto, home insurance. Food. Household utilities. Clothing. Entertainment. Right? You can budget entertainment into your budget. You could say that I want to take the kids out to a movie once a month or twice or once a week or whatever, right? But you have to take that money and you have to make sure you have that set aside. You don't want to be spending money that you don't have allocated. So what else is in that budget? Student loan payments, insurance payments, entertainment, books, movies, magazines, toys, cable TV, internet access, income taxes in addition to those withheld from your paycheck, child care, medical bills, savings transferred to savings account, retirement funds or brokerage account, like IRAs and those kind of things. Vacations, you can budget for a vacation. Some people do that. It's like, I remember, I don't see them much anymore, but I remember when I was younger, they would have like Christmas clubs and vacation clubs at the banks.
They still have.
Do they still have them? You put 10, 15, 25, $50 a pay away.
I think I was in a Christmas club, I think we put $2. It might have been a month, it could have been a pay, I don't know, but then December, that was money we used like for Christmas stuff.
Right. So, you could do the same thing in your budget. We wanna go on vacation. Figure out how much it's gonna be. And then schedule it out. Divide it by 12. And every month, put X amount of dollars away, so when you get to your vacation time, you have the money to do it. Right, and then
I
again,
should really do that now.
what's that?
See, my brother, I could give him, I don't care what amount of money, and it would always be safe. So I called him my bank.
Ah,
So I said, I should do that. I should start giving him so much, because Christmas time is rough. It's like, you know, and I tell the older ones now, I said, oh, y'all are getting older now. It's the two younger ones, so I try to do something for them, at least give them a gift card or something for the older three. And the two younger ones, I try to get them some things.
Right.
Now that they're, I tell them you have to understand that it's either bills and cable. I mean, at least you have a PlayStation you can play, or we can not pay the Wi-Fi and be out in the street with a PlayStation and a book bag. What do you prefer? So
there you go.
that's the needs and the wants right there.
Yep, exactly. So budget for actual and unexpected expenses. The first step is to create and maintain an emergency fund. That's what I was talking about earlier,
That's-
right?
that's not-
Put a couple dollars away just for, emergency fund. And if you don't spend it, great. But the thing is with an emergency fund, once you put it away, it's not there. In your mind, it's not there. Forget about it. Because if you think about it, you're gonna spend it. You're gonna find something to spend it on. I'm telling you, sure as the day is long, you're gonna spend that money.
I have problems, I hide money and I forget where I put it.
Well, that's
Then I put it, then I got all
Did
kinds
you
of different
find it?
spots and I go in the pocket. Oh my God, if there's $20, I can use that right now.
Yeah, that's a whole
He
nother
used to
problem
do
there.
that. He used to always do that, but not no more. I would.
I've done that before where, I pick up a book or something, and I start reading, I open up and go, oh, $50 in there. It's like,
My brother does it. I mean, he had a gauze bandage box next to his computer, and I would wipe it off and all, and I mean, it had like $50 sitting in it forever. So one day, I don't know, it was months and months and months. And I always said, I wonder if he was testing me to see if I took that money, because I never touched it. It just stayed in the box, but the box was tore, the lid was tore off. So one day I noticed the money was gone. So I laughed, right? And he came home and he said, man, I'm sure glad I found some money today, because I didn't feel like dealing with the bank. And I said, oh, what? He said, funny thing, the whole time that money's been sitting there and I never knew it. I said, sit where? He said, in the gauze box. He said, I had money sitting in there and I was so glad I found it this morning. And he found it by accident because he knocked it over. Because he was on his computer before he left for work. And that's how he found it.
That's funny.
But I figured it maybe been a test to see if because me and my brother had lived together and forever. See, some people my brother is funny about who he lets in his house. And even family or not, sometimes you just want to see if you just trust somebody being in your house. So.
Never know. So initially, the emergency fund should be $500 to $1,000 depending on your income and debt load. Again, you have to. This is just, rule or just suggestions. It's not saying that you have to hit that number. Obviously, it'd be a lot lower if your income. Again, it depends on your income and debt load. If your debt load is high and your income's low, then you may not want to do an emergency fund right away, but you can budget in to knock off some of your bills, and once you knock them off, you got a couple of dollars extra, now start building an emergency fund, right? So again, this is where you don't want to drive yourself nuts. You want to be practical, right? You want to be able to do something that's attainable, because if you do something that's not attainable, you're not going to get there and you're going to end up quitting, and that's not going to do, you're not doing yourself any good doing that, right? So eventually you'll need to increase this to 3 to 6 months worth of income, eventually. Develop the attitude that this is only used for emergencies, such as, you lost your job, you know, the job transferred, and you don't wanna move to, you know, East Jabip, so you end up unemployed, unexpected medical needs, or, excuse me, any other, financial crises. Should you have to use the money in this fund for an emergency, the priority for the next month is to resupply the fund. Remember, Murphy's Law always strikes.
If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
Everybody know what Murphy's Law is?
No.
Murphy's Law is if something can go wrong,
It's
it
gonna
will.
go wrong.
It will go wrong. So, all right, let's budget. Everyone wanna grab a computer? Oh, I'm gonna need a stick.
What?
I'm gonna need a stick,
Why?
a thumb drive, because I wanna beat you with numbers.
I don't know.
Yeah, obviously.
You want me to go ask if they have a thumb drive?
Would you please, thank you, I'll see if I have one in here.
Orlando, it says my file is corrupted. Corrupted my file, Orlando.
I'm innocent of all charges.
You sent it to me,
Oh, Mickey, what I have here,
a flash drive.
I do.
A stick.
Oh, it's a stick.
It's a flash drive.
It's a stick.
Flash drive.
Isn't it? It's drink at sign the well.
That's the password now?
That's been the password since they were funded.
I,
It used to be Living Waters.
No, that's the Wi-Fi password.
Oh, darn.
What is it?
Drink at sign the well.
What is it? Drink at the asterisk, the A with the circle around it, the well.
Yeah.
Well, you're already on, so you're good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Crystal, you set me straight. I had to get my technology straight there. Oh, well, what's the Wi-Fi password so I can sign on to the, I'll put the Wi-Fi password in, wow. I'll get old. I was talking about that to my son's girlfriend. I said in the 80s, we used to watch like talking watches and certain weird things that actually have been created and people use nowadays. We never thought those things would exist. Talking watches. Watches that ring and you can talk to somebody. It's
Dick
all
Tracy.
weird.
Yep.
I don't want one.
You don't want one?
I got my own budget at home.
I still have mine that I did last year. It ain't changed. I don't have no room
I got a
for it
bill
to
book,
change.
and I just will put everything in. How much I changed them.
It's funny that I had it.
Oh, good, your mom wanted it. Oh, I forgot. I forgot that was her diaper bag. Why? What was that text? I didn't actually read it. What? Who knows what?
I know where it is.
Oh wait, that was mine.
Or,
There's like
did
two
you
of
give
them
us a
that
thing
don't.
last year?
Uh,
Did you give us a book last year? Maybe that was Connie and Gary, that's where I think I put my budget. Sorry.
Hey, I don't have my thumb drive, but you could upload onto the well drive.
I've got it,
Okay.
but this one doesn't have,
There's one there.
this one doesn't have,
Office.
office.
You're gonna split it between all four kids.
I don't know what it's doing now, but,
This took her.
but he can't buy her school supplies.
We found one that doesn't have
I
office.
can't see.
Did you hear? This one
Somebody's
doesn't have
talking.
office.
Oh, I'm sorry, because I can't see over there.
Is that it?
Can't see you either.
Sorry.
No, that's it. That's enough.
I just felt real busy with this now. I do that. Is somebody talking to me? I can't see.
For my glasses?
Huh?
I said, you want my glasses?
I can't see your glasses over here.
I said, you want them?
I know.
Trust me, they
See,
not
she's
gonna
like me. If I can't see, I can't hear.
Yeah, I'm coordinated.
Do you
That's
normally
like,
wear glasses?
well, if the car's
Yes.
going bad,
And I
and you
left
think
them-
turning the radio down is gonna make it go better, I do that.
I have.
But I
I
gotta
can't
be
drive
there.
in the rain. If I can't, it's the radio's on.
Yeah, I want to turn it down, I do too. If I'm going to work,
My
I
kids
turn
are
the
like-
radio up, keep driving.
For all four
I
kids.
said, remember the last time that
How
happened?
does that-
Even the computer we chose. Her car caught on fire, so
I'm like, I
No, I'm thinking about
say, that
homeschool,
is,
just
everything's gotta go off,
having
or something wrong with the car.
I could be doing it. What is this on?
Does that
So I can do it.
Well, there's something, should
Or
I?
in Word or PowerPoint?
Yeah, let's see.
I got a fire stick, I hooked it up to every TV, I can't get it to work.
Oh, really?
It won't even, like, you know when it comes up on the TV, HDM1, HDM2? The old fire stick I had would show a little spot, I could click on it, now it doesn't. And then I put it in one of my other TVs, the TV won't even come on if the fire stick's plugged into it.
Why would I use
When that happened. Has somebody wiped the computer? If they wiped the
Mary,
computer
can
back to
you go to
factory
cell?
settings, whatever was on it would be gone.
She opened
Did she date
Yeah.
product? I don't think.
You know, when school for computer tech.
Did you?
What does that say? No, see, the only thing I remember is I know how to take a Z80 apart and put it back together.
Okay.
That's all I remember. That's the first
That could be
computer.
useful.
The 80, that's, boy, you're going way back.
Yeah. I don't remember anything else. That's a shame.
Probably because you didn't use it, right?
I didn't use it. I didn't even continue it. I didn't use it at all.
I work in electronics. In the electronics industry. Yeah. Here. You wanna join one of these ladies here? Patty? Christie, you can. All right. Everybody ready to rock and roll? Now, this is an Excel spreadsheet. Cool thing about Excel is you can set formulas up, and this one already has them set up, to where when you start plugging money in, it'll automatically do the calculations for you, right? So, let's talk about John Doe. All right, John Doe has a job. He works. So how much money does John make a month? And this is after taxes.
2,500.
2,500 a month? All right. So, does he get anything from disability? No? Okay, let's put 0 in there.
Well, you gotta write this down in here?
Mhm.
Okay.
Does he get anything from alimony?
$300.
From alimony?
Yes.
Okay, he gets 300 from alimony. His wife apparently makes a whole lot more money than he does. His ex-wife, excuse me. Food stamps.
No, we still get $500 a month.
Child support.
Nothing, he's a good father.
No, this isn't paying out, this is what's coming in. So,
So,
I didn't ask you.
alright, so, what John Doe has coming in monthly is $2,800 a month. Everybody got that? We good?
Yes, it's 20.
Alright. 2,800 a month. Now comes the fun stuff.
Ain't nothing fun about work.
That was sarcasm. That's fine. Rent. So how much does John Doe pay for rent?
$980.
$980. Everybody okay with that?
Wait, my thing is acting dumb. I'm still on alimony and keep.
Huh?
The keep.
Uh-oh. Judy calls me. Oh, somebody woke up hungry.
She's been playing the whole time I've been in there. She's been talking and playing.
Aw.
She just got hungry.
Are you clear now? You good?
And she's still on food stamps and
You don't get
Zero child support, zero food stamps?
Yes.
Okay, now we on rent.
Yes.
Yeah.
rent is,
Okay.
rent is how much?
$980.
Ask me what you need.
Okay. I'm up for
Alright. Utilities. How much does John Doe pay for utilities a month? What's your average for utilities?
About 300.
300? Say 300? Alright. Food, how much does he eat?
400 a month.
400 a month? With no food stamps, okay. Well, I guess it's, I
Oh, wait.
don't know. Not too bad. Medical. Does he put out anything for medical? That would be prescriptions, doctor's visits, any of that kind of stuff.
$50.
$50? Alright. Now this is gonna be fun because when we get to the end, he's probably gonna be spending a whole lot more than he takes in. So we'll have to make adjustments, and that'll be, you'll see. Does he go to the dentist?
$75.
$75 a month?
Yeah.
Alright. How about cell? Does he have a cell phone? What's his cell phone bill monthly?
30.
30? Alright. Got a good plan. And how about God's portion?
Whatever you can do.
Huh?
Between $10 and $40 a month.
Say $40 a month? Alright. So far he's doing good. So, long-term savings. What do you want to put away for your long-term savings
Per month?
per month?
$50.
$50? Okay. How about travel vacation? You want to put some money away for a vacation?
$25.
$25?
Mine equals 16 or 2, and I put out 16 or 8.
Christmas club.
So there's
You
no
got
room
kids?
for anything.
Yeah, you got kids. How about for Christmas?
$20.
Okay. Let's change this to entertainment. Alright, how about entertainment? That could be a movie.
Oh, what's that?
What's that?
I said, what's that?
$75.
$75 a month? Alright, how about tech? Internet, those kind of things. Your internet, your cable.
What was entertainment?
Come on. Come on.
Cable runs like 130 a month.
130. Alright, and this would be for your spending for like unexpected expenses. Let's call that out. We'll call it unexpected.
I'd say about 50.
$50. Alright. Yeah. So,
Negative. Hey, it's right on. Oh, no, negative 200.
Look at this. Total expenses, 1845, why,
I gotta change this
am
to
I exactly in the hole? So every dime I'll bring according to this goes out.
I mean, everybody got different numbers. Everybody got different total income numbers. She said 18. Maybe I'm missing something.
This seems like a jump. But 200.
Alright. What I have is here is John Doe is making, is at the end of the month, he has $575 extra to spend.
How you got that? How you, yeah.
Because I had to change the formula, unfortunately. This one here should be B12 minus B44. That should give you your, that's 575. So let's change this around a little bit. All right, let's say that he's making $1,500 a month. So now he's down $425. Well, let's make it 2,000. Now let's make it 18.
How much you make a month?
Let's say 1,800 plus the 300. So now he's negative 125. So what are we gonna do about that? So how can we make that 125 zero or in the black, we'll call it?
What? You can spend less on entertainment.
Yes, very good, all right. So what do you wanna cut your entertainment down to? 45, all right. So now we're $75. What else?
Take out your travel.
Cut the travel out. Cut what, that down to 0? So you're not gonna take a vacation this year? And that may be a good idea. Maybe you just wanna take the time off of work and just stay home.
Take your vacation, just do a weekend like a camping trip.
There you go.
It's cheap.
Right?
So
A
you're
lot
like
cheaper.
$50 for that.
Well, it's only 25 right now. So if we're taking money away.
So put $10 instead of 25? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Everybody good with that? So now we're down to 60. Where else can we,
Internet.
Yep.
what's that?
Internet.
Internet?
You can get a cheaper cable phone.
Get a cheaper cable plan. What would be a cheaper cable plan? Anybody know?
Get one of them digital boxes.
Yeah?
And I don't know if anybody knows, you can get, internet for $10 a month from Comcast. And as long as you have a child in school,
Yeah?
call Comcast and tell them you want the essential plan, $10 a month.
Okay?
There's your internet. And get a little box, and there you go, you got channel.
I'm gonna call, because I have Xfinity prepaid, and I pay $45 a month, but I own my router and all. So if you don't pay your bill, they shut it off, but it doesn't, you don't own nothing. So every 28th of the month, I pay my bill. I usually pay it when I get my money, so everything's paid.
So
So how
what,
much is tech and internet? How much is?
well, right now we're at 130, but, what's a
$50.
$50? Is that doable?
That's doable. I would be able to pay $50 a month.
Now we're $20 in the black. Now we're good. Now what can we do with that $20? We can put it into a savings, right?
Yeah.
Put it into a savings plan. So you kind of see how you get to work with a budget, and you, but the one thing, and I said this last week and I'll say it again, be honest with yourself. Because you're only hurting yourself if you're not. If you're spending money on pot, put it in there. Because it's money that's coming out of your pocket, is going to pay for something, right? And then it's up to you to decide whether you want to spend that money there or not, right? I'm not saying to do that, I'm not saying to smoke pot, I'm just saying if that's what you're doing, be honest with yourself, right? Because otherwise, you're just gonna be playing a game and you're never gonna get there. So, if you're spending too much money on whatever it is, your budget will tell you. Once you start logging that money where you're spending it, you start logging that in there, it will show you exactly where your money's being spent. Then you can make your adjustments accordingly, in accordance with your goals. So again, just to recap here real quick, first thing is you want to set your goals. What are your short-term goals? What are your long-term goals, right? And then once you define that, then you start plugging money into what you're bringing in, and then your expenses into your budget, and then you can start adjusting things accordingly to meet your goals. You want to be out of debt in 5 years, right? Start attacking them credit cards or loans, or whatever it is you're paying off. Start attacking them. The quicker you pay off the credit cards, the less interest you're going to pay out of your pocket. I think it's if you owe $10,000 in credit card bills, it'll take you like 30 years to pay it off if you just do the minimum. The way they calculate the interest, yeah, it's crazy. It's going to take you like 30 years to do it.
I'm glad I don't even qualify for one.
So it's crazy. But that's the thing with the credit card. People think, oh yeah, I got the money, yeah, great. You know, go ahead and spend it. Lay that plastic down. Next thing you know, you're up to your limit, and you owe a whole lot of money. So, but all of your, your debts, whatever it is, you got a car payment, put that in there. You got whatever gas, whatever you guesstimate. When you're guesstimating on your expenses, guesstimate high. When you're guesstimating on your income, always guesstimate a little lower.
That's why people don't like grocery shopping with me, because they say I get on their nerves because I carry my phone. I calculate. Like if it's $1.20 something, I might do like $1.30. If it's almost $2, I put $2 in it. I'd rather have a little wiggle room. That way, when I get up to the register, I didn't put nothing back. I hate doing that. I don't like. That's the whole reason I do the calc. And before when I make my list, I have a habit of writing what I need and what the cost is next to it. I guess maybe it's the way my mother. I used to see her do it, and I just I still do it. And I write everything down, and I guess people are getting. I'm just old or something, but. People are on their, I'm like, I'll go on my phone, I'm like, I don't have faster for you to write it down and jot it. So I have an estimate before I even know what I'm gonna spend.
Absolutely, a lot of people do that.
Kind of quick, about even though I'm not condoning it because I don't smoke marijuana, but me and my husband used to argue all the time about how much he spent on marijuana on a weekly basis. He said he worked, and that's all he do. He don't drink, he don't go out, that's just what he did. Not judging him, but that's just what he did. And what we came up with even though I don't like him doing it, but instead of him buying lunch every day for lunch, he'll take that money and put it in a jar. And I'm not saying condone it. And he'll put it towards his marijuana habit. That's how we came up with that. That's budgeting, right? Even though it's about a drug,
yes,
but it's still in the same thing about budgeting.
Again,
I can't get him to stop. All these years, I can't get him to stop, but I could. We did come up with some type of agreement where, he was spending like $100 a week. Now it's $40 every 2 weeks.
better.
Even though it's about marijuana, even though I want it to be zero, but, you can't win them all.
Well, the principle is still there.
The principle is still there.
The principle is that, you looked at your budget, you saw that you couldn't afford to continue to do that, so you made arrangements to move money from elsewhere to accommodate that I'm gonna say it's a want.
Yeah, it's a want, it's not a need, it's a want.
Yep.
So, yeah, but I was just bringing a point out to that. If it's a bad habit and it's the drug, we still came to an agreement because we were really it was taken away from what our children needed at times, and I didn't appreciate it. And, yeah, but that was still a budget.
One thing we know for sure that, if somebody doesn't want the help, they're not gonna get the help. So,
If they don't think they have a
he doesn't wanna
problem,
quit,
he said it's from the earth. It's not the problem. It's the plant. He never. His mom is 72 and she smokes every day. So he grew up around it, and his whole family smoked. Grandma, great grandmother, somebody who passed away with a marijuana joint in the casket. That's just what they do. So I'm serious. They had a blunt in a casket. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think the man will ever stop, but you can't win them all.
yeah. But anyway, the principle's still there, and that, it's a good principle that, you know, you wanted something, and it's okay, like I said earlier, it's okay to put your wants into your budget as long as your needs are covered, right? So, as you said, your kids are fed, bills are paid, those are needs. You know, you need to feed your kids, you need to pay the electric bill, you need to pay your rent, those are the things you need to do. Once those things are covered, then the rest of the money is really up to you where that goes as far as, attaining your goals, to help you attain your goals, and that's where the adjustments come in. Just like we did some adjustments here, you can do the same thing, but you would do that on a monthly basis, right? As you work with your budget. Any questions? Everybody good?
I have a question.
Yes.
So, for the Christmas and the travel and the Christmas, right?
Yes.
Even though it's a budget for John Doe, Christmas is like a want or a need.
That's a really, really good question. Basically, it's a want, but, we've had situations, especially when Doris and I, the kids were babies, and I had my own business, and it was installing fences. So winters were tough for us. And I can remember having to beg for $15 to go buy a pack of diapers for my kids, right? But, there were some Christmases where we had to just one gift or whatever, like you do what you have to do. Others, when there's money was more available, we gave more, to the kids. So, but you have it's really a want, but as long as your other bills are paid, that's why it's a want, but it's a good want because it's given to others and given to your kids and taking care of your kids and making sure they're happy, right? So that's a good thing. But it depends. Each person's situation is different, right? But that's why you would have money you would put away for Christmas so that you would cover that. When Christmas time comes, you have that money available. And you wouldn't have to worry about taking money from your other bills to cover Christmas. You know what I mean? So
I used to run bragging for my kids about Christmas until I found out what the real meaning was, and I split that in half when they started. I would not pay a bill for Christmas, and then I split it in half. The money that I spend for Christmas, half of it is for school, and half of it is for Christmas. And the older they get, the less they want, and the more money that I have to the side for school stuff, and to take them to the beach a week before school and things like that.
that's good.
Yeah.
Those are the things you can budget for. You want to take them to the beach, it's going to cost you X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
Put $10-15 away a week or whatever, a month, and then when you get to that, the weekend before they go to school, you've got it. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to sweat it. You don't have to not pay another bill because you have it. You budgeted for it. That's a good thing. So, all right, everybody good? All right, ladies, thank you. We are done.
Well, thank you.
You're quite welcome.
What's the subject for next week?
Hold on 1 second, I'll tell you.
How to spend your Christmas vacation, Christmas fund?
Yeah.
Coupon.
I hate getting in line, but I said that they probably hate getting behind me, when you gotta
think
pick
we're
something
gonna
out of the coupon or something.
I think we're going to talk about credit. Let me see.
Couponing is actually not that bad when you do it properly.
Yeah, I really should be one to do it because
I'll tell you what, those,
it looks like autism to me.
Go take this down.
I mean, it's like looking at something foreign and I don't understand. Do you understand what I mean? It's, I don't.
I don't wanna break it, I'll just be.
When I try to do something on it, learning about autism, it's like, you know, like my son, they don't kind of comprehend, he doesn't comprehend all the time like I would.
oh, I will,
To
believe
me,
me.
I
I'm
feel
so
like
looking forward to it.
I don't realize that this.
What are you doing?
I still can't get it right.
Okay.
Like I think I
Good.
did it.
You know, she'll have no problem.
But like the little, and then
Well, I just got my here.
and then I
About,
go there like.
What?
I have a question about personal spending when it comes to.
That's fine.
Clothing. Like, what should you
Get a ride, I got canceled on Monday.
like?
Clothing, you need
If I
that
can get a
clothing.
ride, because if
But
it's
you
not, I'm
don't need to
gonna
have
have
Dior
to try
purse.
to get a ride from
You
City.
can get away with a Walmart $20 purse. It's
Yep.
practical, you know, you can fit your things in it.
Hey, I haven't
And-
bought a purse in years, Orlando. Last one I bought.
I'm gonna
was
go
a
outside and
purse.
smoke,
It came
and
with a
I'll
wallet
be
inside of it.
Huh.
Too bad I didn't have no cash, but
There you go.
Miss Barb and all other people are just giving to me, that'd be brand new.
I would wait it for.
I probably will buy a purse for another few years, or I'll get it from here.
So it's a matter of, you know, some ladies like to spend $400, $500, $600
I would love
on
to
a pair
have
of
a nice
shoes.
purse, or shoes, but
Yeah.
Right? Do you really need that name brand pair of shoes, or you want those name brand? You know what I'm saying? So that's where really the need and want comes. Clothing, you need to wear clothes,
Yeah, you know
but
that.
you know, you don't need to wear
like a 7-day
name
pair of
brand,
shoes.
ultra expensive, you know, clothes.
Yeah.
So just being smart with your money.
Yeah. There was another question, but I forgot. Oh, yeah, I'm becoming very interested in how now, since I've been coming here since last week, I've been tracking like what I've spent.
Yeah?
And I, on a yearly basis, I spent well over $2,000 on cigarettes. Do you know that? I spent like
I didn't even add that.
$2,065.
Wow.
So I don't buy them.
Are you kidding me? So I said that,
I added it up when I smoked, but but it's a lot. Because when I did it last year, I added it in and I couldn't, on my budget, we did the same place and I couldn't believe how much money.
Yeah,
And they told me to add that in to what I used to put out. I couldn't believe how much money a month I would spend in that.
who's behind me? Oh,
Ah,
child.
your
Hey.
daughter.
Miss Sharon needs you. Miss Sharon? Yes. What's your?
Is she all right?
Yeah, but I said what I'm gonna do is, Mr. Orlando, I said, in order for me to quit, because I really think it's about, I'm 32 years old, a lot of people around me is getting sick, it's about time that I quit. So I said, I'll do the patch. Start September the 1st, I'll do the patch.
Right.
But until now, I'll buy like 2 packs of cigarettes a week, but knock down one. I'm not gonna cut it all out, I'm gonna knock down one, and I'll put that $7.50 in a jar. And my birthday coming up, whatever's in there, I'm gonna treat myself.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm very interested in this class.
I'm going with you.
Hi, how are you? Next week, we're gonna talk about savings and credit.
Credit. Well, I don't understand, I don't have any credit, but when I moved into this new place, my credit was $725. But then when Lily went to the hospital and they sent me a bill for this, you pay out of my card, and they knocked it down to 5 something. So I gotta get that off my credit. But my credit was $725. And I'm like, how? When I don't even, how?
I do that.
I don't know, but that's a good.
That, I know, everybody like, what? I showed it to my sister, she
Mine's
like
like 4 or
725.
5 something. Very low. I think I had a credit card on there. I had a card which shouldn't even be on there. Oh
You
no.
can dispute that stuff.
But you know what I think it is?
Some of it might, I have a judgment on it, that's what it is, for John Grasso, which is a slumlord here in Curtis Bay. And he sold it to a judgment recovery company. And they're still trying to sue me, Orlando, for $2,000-something. I said, I didn't even live there when you're saying I lived there. I said, so they keep trying to take me to court, to Baltimore Circuit City Court, to, I guess, this judgment company. They'll get a hold of me. I got laid off my job. He said, you didn't quit your job because I was looking for you. I had a prepaid bank card. I didn't even have a bank account. Do you know they found my prepaid bank card, froze 1,000-some deposit, my paycheck was deposited, they took all my money. The man was nice enough and he gave me some back. I said, look, my rent is due. You just took all my money. I didn't get nothing saying y'all were garnishing nothing. MetaBank is who NetSpend and all use MetaBank. So I use my husband's name when I have a prepaid card. I don't even have a bank account because of that judgment.
Oh, wow.
But I'm like, you're charging me for rent when I wasn't even living here. And then you sell it to a judgment recovery people. Now they're after me, and I don't have a pot to pee in. And when they first got a hold of me, I was on the JWA program in social services in Annapolis because I didn't have work. I got laid off from Goodwill. So I had to join the JWA program or you don't get no help. It's like you gotta work. I gotta go there every day by 8 o'clock. I gotta put my hours until 4 and I put it work like a day job. And he called me and he said, can you send me over your last year's tax return? I was like, I can do that. You know, but I didn't get a tax return last year because I didn't work. I worked, the year coming was the year I was gonna file.
Right.
So I sent him the year before that's tax return because that's the only one I had. I said, I'm not working. Here's proof that I'm on, you know, social services and I'm not working. So then when he called me again, I guess he called from his house, I don't know. It was a cell phone, and he got a hold of me one other time, and I got a court thing to go to court a while back, and never heard from him again, but it's still on there. It's gonna be on there forever. It's never gonna leave. I need to go to court.
Is it?
Oh, well, it's recording our juicy conversation about nothing.
It's blinking red.
So I guess I should go to court if I get another notice to dispute this.
Oh, here.